Good evening everyone, welcome back to RLH for another week, and we've got C3 action this evening. As you can see, it's a wet Suzuka, so it's one of the trickiest tracks on the calendar at the best of times, and it just got a whole lot trickier. Everyone out there on the intermediates to begin with, as you would expect. Clearly not wet enough for the full wets at the moment, but we've got no times on the board. We've got Wolsey down at the first Degner now. We'll stick on board with him. And there was, I believe, a car to the inside. Was that an Alpha Tauri? It may have been. As he comes down into the hairpin, halfway around the lap pretty much, and gets it slowed down, sticking with second gear, so maybe just traction at a little bit of a premium in these conditions. And we've got Banter Brandon out of the session. Not entirely sure where that is on track. Yeah, there wasn't a McLaren out on track actually, so sorry, why am I thinking McLaren? Wait a minute, what? Am I imagining things? I may well be imagining things, but I'm pretty sure, or did it say he left the session? He may have left the session, so hopefully we can get him back in. Yeah, it did indeed, so yeah, so he's still very much running, albeit yeah, needs to get back in the session to continue with qualifying. 13 minutes remaining, plenty of time to do that as long as all goes well. And as you can see, Formula SB is top of the standings so far. Siga Ramatu is into second place in the Alpine. The second Alpine slots in right behind him, just less than a tenth down. It's Racing Upta. And then you've got Booty taking a little bit of a spin. We've got one then. That's the first one. It's down on the exit of the second Degner. But he's already got a lap in at 39.7. And actually, we've just lost Jappy on the exit of the hairpin. So he's dropped it coming, yeah, on traction out of the hairpin. Mentioned a moment ago that Wolsey was keeping it in second gear through there. Well, yeah, Jappy, unfortunately, he's got a lap time on the board. But if conditions improve, he might find himself vulnerable there. In P5, we've got Alex K on a 40.1 so far, just ahead of his teammate Luke. He is quite a distance in time, but they are at the back of those who've set times so far. As Racing Upta goes across the line, second lap on that set of tyres, puts in a 38.663 to go slightly quicker than Formula SB. As we see some more yellow flags with cars letting each other through. Interesting to see that so many of them haven't gone out and put a time immediately on the board. Suggests that maybe the conditions are forecast to improve. And we'll just check in with the drivers actually. Try and get a some comment from drivers. Which we don't have. She just mentioned of rain, so no forecast for the remainder of qualifying. It does look pretty overcast, although it's maybe looking a bit brighter over there on the horizon. Who else can we check in with? Who's Benny Max just come across the line with a 54.0, and I believe he was running slowly on the approach to Spoon and letting drivers through. So this might be the first sort of full speed lap we've seen from him. I'm just watching, actually there's some yellows up ahead, one of the Alphas. It's Luke getting off the line and now out of the way. Oh, Benny's going to be in the wall at that, and that's going to be session over. Yeah, just caught him as we came back, and that's through through the final part of the S's just before Dunlop, and he has dropped it, gone straight into the wall, left front wheel off the car, and that's the second one we've seen so far. So it just shows how lucky Luke was to be getting away with that one. He had a bit of a moment, but all still pointing the right way in terms of wheels anyway. And a little bit of information, yeah, it's supposed to dry up at the end, so that is unfortunate for those who've gone out there and binned it. They maybe regret that and hope they'd have waited it out a bit later into the session, as we've got some more yellows. Do we need to be catching a spin? We've got him. Can't get away with that one. Almost made it into the pit lane. And if he did want to pit, he now can't. He's going to have to go a complete lap of the circuit. It's Alex Kay, and it's not going to be a hot lap either, because he was so slow, obviously, over the start-finish line as a result of that. And yeah, Benny on the comments, unfortunately, saying he hates the rain. Always happens to him. Yeah, it's a shame. Unfortunately, he'll be starting down the lower end of the grid, but 14 here this evening, so it's not as bad as it could have been. And at the moment then, so it's 3 cars in the 38s that are quickest so far, but conditions definitely seem to be improving. The rain is easing slightly, and we've got Wolvesey out the back of the circuit into sector 2 now, and it's a purple first sector, so it's looking pretty good. So we've got one of the McLarens. Oh, I think that I think that's F7 on an outlap. So hopefully shouldn't get in the way of this lap of Wolvesey. We've got Luke out there, so he's in the first sector. So it's Alex Kay who is the Alpha down at Spoon, as Banter Brandon goes up. So it's a good evening for the blue cars so far. We've got a Williams on provisional pole. We've got Alpine second. We've got a Red Bull third, although it's white still. And then the other Alpine in P4. We'll try and catch the last part of Wolvesey's lap. I don't think anyone else is on a lap that's not set a time yet. Mohammed Guna and Mighty Frax, I think, are still in the pits. Actually, Guna's on a lap down at the hairpin, a little bit slower. Oh, and F7 as we caught him. Is that going to be another one in the wall? He might get away with that one. 360 and straight back onto the racing line. Not a bad one at all. And he might still actually have his time. I don't think he's invalidated. So he could still get this one on the board. Wolvesey dropped a little bit of time. He's gone down to a 39.3. So couldn't maintain that purple first sector around the final part of the lap. But yeah, F7 at the moment still has a lap on the board. As Luke comes across the line, it's going to be in the 39s. 39.6 is where he remains in P8, I believe. Or did he improve? Did he go just ahead of Booty there? May have just snuck one extra position. Yeah, Benny saying no, just hope for the best in the race, absolutely. And yeah, almost certainly to have some sort of intervention of a safety car around here, with the grass, gravel and walls being so close. We've got another improvement from Banter Brandon out there in the Williams, ploughing round, and obviously put a bit of fuel in it, and he's just going to keep going until the Inters overheat in these improving conditions, although he's going to be in the wall. What is going on here? I'm going to probably stop switching to onboards of everyone. Every time we seem to go on board, they're spinning moments later. So, unfortunately, your provisional pole sitter is currently in the wall and out of qualifying, and with conditions improving, that's not what he wants to see. We had that in C2 last week, actually, at Imola, but the conditions were the opposite way around. They were deteriorating, if I remember correctly. So the fastest times were at the start of the session. So even though Giraffe, I think it was on that occasion, put it in the wall early on, he managed to get a lap time on the board at his first attempt, and actually still lined up on the front row. Alex has improved to P4, so yeah, still plodding around. As you can see, he's done 5 laps on that set of tyres now. 6 minutes remaining. Are we going to see some slick-tired runs? This is going to be a session where you want to be out absolutely at the end of the session. Yeah, his first sector is half a second slower, so he's not going to improve, you wouldn't have thought, on this lap, unless conditions get a lot better for him as Formula SB gets out of the way of one of the Alpines. That's racing up to going for another attempt. We've lost Sigur Amatu, and that's on the run. That's a very strange place to have lost it. Down through the kink towards Spoon, and he's in the middle of the circuit. Alex has to slam the anchors on. And yeah, I don't think he was on a particularly hot lap anyway, so it shouldn't cost him too much. Luckily, managed to avoid that. And look, the track has gone particularly quiet, and that's not just because we've lost 4 of the runners out there. They're all going back to the pits, and I think it's because the changeable conditions are changing for the better. As you can see, the rain has stopped. I'm almost certain we'll see Alex in this time, and now they'll be sort of counting down the time, and they'll have a time in mind that they need to get out there and do an outlap, as Booty was yellow flags there for some reason. Maybe being off on the exit of the second Degner. We've got Formula SB still out there as well, running pretty close behind Racing Upta as they come through to towards the final sector. Are we going to see any improvement in times? Doesn't appear that way, although yeah, not entirely sure on that one. But, it's showing a purple sector, but I think he's significantly down on the time. I'm going to assume both of them will return to the pits. Do we have any slick tyres? We've got Wolvesy out there. Sorry, still in the pits, but he's selected the soft tyres, so he's raring to go. So Booty will probably come back to the pits. Mohamed Guna has also selected the soft tyres, but we've got Adidas out there on an outlap. He's on the inters still. And Racing Upta, currently the fastest man who's still in qualifying, is out there on a set of inters as well. 3 minutes and 54 remaining, so I suppose you could do an outlap just to see if the conditions are staying as they are, and if it improves any further. You've still got time to get back to the pits and stick a set of the slicks on. So who's going to be the first man out? Oh, Luke's come back out on another set of inters as well. How long do they dare push it? It's yeah, the rain has definitely stopped. It's a question of how quick does this track dry out and how brave do you want to be. Personally, I would say if you're sort of in that group of 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, you might as well stick a set of the slicks on and go for it. What have we got? 3 minutes. Yeah, so you need to be... I'd say you need 2 minutes to do an outlap to be safe, because slicks on the damp track on an outlap might be a little tricky. But once you're up to temperature and ready for a full flying lap, I don't see any reason why the slicks wouldn't be worth a gamble at this stage. We've got some yellow flags. We've lost Racing Upta, and we're going to go back to Luke, because that might give us an indication. He's right on the racing line through 130R as Luke completes his outlap. Have we got anyone out there on the slicks? They're going to have to get on with it if they want to. We've got Formula SB, I think, coming out of the pits on inters. We've got Mohamed Guna coming out on inters. Is anyone going to gamble? Come on, give us a gamble. Someone go out there. If I was on track right now, I guarantee you I would be on the slick tyres. Just because if they work, it's a guaranteed pole position. And if it doesn't work, you've not really lost too much. 1 minute and 59, you need to be getting out there. Mighty Frax is going out. We got one then. Wolves, he's gone back on the inters, so he thinks he can improve on a set of new inters. Mighty Frax has 1 minute and 46, so he needs to get on with this, but he might find that a little tricky. He might have left it just a few seconds too late. Certainly can't afford to be taking it too easy on this outlap. And look how tricky it is. Might just be a little too soon, but like I say, you probably wanted to go out 10 or 20 seconds earlier just to give yourself the chance of getting to the line before the checkered flag, because yeah, the conditions can change quickly, but that's no good if you've not got around to start your flying lap, and you want to be the last man over the line. As we've mentioned, who's going to be the first man across the line? It's Adidas, and he's not going to get that far. He's spun on the exit of the final corner, and that's going to be his qualifying over then with P8, the absolute maximum he's going to achieve. And Luke then is actually on his lap now, isn't he? So is he going to go for multiple laps, or is he, what's he got in terms of energy? Seems to have, yeah, plenty of energy. So if he's got the fuel, he can go again. He comes across the line with a 39.6, doesn't improve. So the Inters, certainly in that case, aren't improving. Mighty Frax has got 35 seconds to get to the end of the lap. I don't think he's going to make it. Needed to be out there 10 or 20 seconds earlier, and then it might have just, it's certainly looking better than it did through Sector 1, but he's not going to make it to the line. He's getting out of the way of Alex K. So Mighty Frax, unfortunately for him, yeah, the only man out on the slicks, and we're not going to see a lap from him. Alex K's invalidated this lap anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty certain this is not going to be a time. F7's gone across the line with a 39.6, puts himself to the front of those three cars there, as Formula SB has retired. That might have been on track, actually. Well, oh, Alex has got another one. We've just caught him again on the exit of the final corner. Mighty Frax, though, is not going to get across the line. That's going to be checkered flag for him. So, yeah, unfortunately, as we've seen another one as well, that's F7 has put it in the wall by the looks of things in the first sector. Oh, we've got another spin from Luke down at Spoon. Adidas is coming through now. I think he's, yeah, he's running slow anyway. We saw him mess up at the start of the lap. Alex K's finished. Luke is, so it might be a little bit of an anticlimax here. We've got Booty still on a lap. Is he improving? He is not. So, yeah, unfortunate that we didn't get a chance to see a soft-tyred run. I think now it would probably be drivable at least. Whether it would be quicker, not sure, but yeah, as I said, needed to be out there on track to get across the line. And yeah, Booty's going to be the last man to complete qualifying, is he? No, we've still got Wolvesy out there actually, but he's invalidated. So we now need to wait for him to get back to the pits, and we'll be underway with the race, which may well be in completely dry conditions. There's a wheel in the middle of the track that Wolvesy goes straight through the final chicane. Just a formality at this point, and he's going to come into the pit lane and return to the Mercedes garage, which is right at the front of the pit lane. So very shortly we will be on the grid, hopefully in somewhat better conditions than we started qualifying. Confirmation of your order, despite the fact the top three, I think the top three all crashed out. Certainly the top two at one point. Banter Brandon takes pole position, racing up to is alongside him on the front row. Formula SB and Booty on row 2. Alex K and Sigur Amatu in 5th and 6th. Wolvesy, your championship leader, I believe, takes up P7, and we'll give you the rest of the classified order very shortly. Confirmation, as we say then. It's yeah, from where we were, F7 in P8, Adidas, Luke, Jappy, Mohammed Guna, Benny Mack are the guys who set times, and then the Mighty Frax, we did not see an effort from him, so he will line up 14th and last on the grid. Set to be dry the whole race, we're hearing from Benny on the comments, which is probably good for the drivers, maybe not so for us, but hopefully I guess we'll see potentially more drivers making it to the end than we would if conditions were a little more tricky. A couple of the drivers commenting that qualifying was not the best for them, but we'll just get some standings up. We did put them out on Twitter not so long ago. We'll just get confirmation of that for you. Wolvesy is indeed your championship leader on 230 points with 3 rounds remaining. So obviously today here in Japan, and Banter Brandon actually picks up the pole position point. As you can see, yeah, dry and bright as we go to the grid. And there's a couple of cars jumping up and down with excitement there in the bottom right as we wait to get going. Just a few more seconds as they lock in their race strategies. But yeah, Luke on 191, Adidas 160 for McLaren, and Booty 149, Alex K 140 is your top 5. We've had how many different winners have we had this season? Got Wolvesy, Luke, Adidas, Ridders, Bantam Brandon racing up to Troyer and Formula SB have all been on the top step of the podium as we get away. And we've lost F7 from the formation lap already, so he'll return back to his grid slot. We'll have position change to begin with, and probably don't need telemetry or lap data just yet. Get rid of that. So Bantam Brandon leads us away on the formation lap. And the constructors fight is pretty much a two-way scrap at the moment. Haas with an outside bet maybe of sneaking up on the top two, but Alfa Romeo currently leading from Mercedes at the top, and there's a pretty almighty scrap for P5 between the likes of AlphaTauri, Williams, Prema as the reserve team as well, and then Ferrari and Alpine in just behind that. Apparently F7 went into reverse, which hopefully that's not going to happen in the race, or in the race start proper. I believe we have Fleddy on pole in C2, so he's currently leading the championship over there, I believe, as well. And lining up on the grid now then. We've finally made our way back around. Now we're going to have some lights very shortly. And here they come. We're not going to see them, unfortunately, so we've got on the noise. I think we've got them all on, and we're underway. Brandon gets away, decent start from him, racing up to going with him as well. Anyone making big progress down the back. Wolves is keeping his nose clean at the moment, but into turns 1 and 2 we go. All looks pretty nice and safe at the moment, doesn't it? Brandon leads us into the S's for the first time. Formula SB racing up to Booty is just putting him under a little bit of pressure. And then we've got the second Alpine of Sigaramatu ahead of Alex K. F7 has come up a few places. Wolvesy dropping down. And Jappy is, oh, look at that, had to take avoiding action against one of the McLarens there, but Wolsey, I think, managed to get away with that. He can just about hang on as well ahead of Jappy, and keeps that for now. Benny Mack making good progress, so the race is coming good for him. He's already up 3 places into P10, and Luke's down 1, Adidas has dropped a few, Matty Frax and Guna complete your order. Back to the front then. We've got Bantam Brandon leading into Spoon for the first time, as it's all pretty much single file at this stage. We've got a change there though, as one of the Alpines comes past Booty for P4. So Haas unfortunately dropping down to P5. We've got a yellow flag, that's no good. Oh, Wolvesy's round. No damage, it doesn't look like on the... Oh, and it may have been contact with the McLaren there. But looks like... oh, and further contact as well. That's a little bit naughty. But Benny Mack, oh, what a shame, he was involved in that as well. Has he got any damage on the AlphaTauri? Maybe not. Looks like he may have got away with it. So F7's been given a 5-second penalty as Brandon sets the fastest lap of the race on the first lap. F7, yeah, getting that penalty for a collision with Wolvesy in Spoon. And yeah, straight away, unfortunately, Wolseley back down to P14. We've seen him with some comeback drives this season. He's going to need another one now. Benny Mack, though, putting F7 under pressure, going to the outside into turn 1. Being squeezed a little bit and doesn't get the move done on this occasion. We've got more yellows as Booty. We've lost further up the S's, unfortunately, and we're going to have a VSC. Hopefully we can all get slowed down. So yeah, confirmation of the tyres are on. Brandon starting on the mediums. Of course, they qualified on the inters, so they could start on whatever they wanted. Then you got Formula SB racing up to Shigeru Amatu, all on the softs. Alex K on the mediums, Jappi, Adidas, and Mohamed Guna. As a result of that collision at Spoon, there's a couple of guys now who've made good positions there, all on the soft tyre. Mighty Frax is the medium. Luke, Benny Mack, and Wolseley all on the softs, and F7 down there with that penalty on the mediums. VSC still out there as it happens, and just trying to see, got a couple of comments coming through. Maybe some contact in there with Adidas as well, actually. So maybe F7 collected Wolseley when he was already spinning. It's interesting, we're getting live comments from the drivers. Still under VSC, no sign of going green just yet as we come across the line for the third lap, and we've got racing going, so I wonder if we're back to green flag conditions now, and DRS is enabled. We're on lap 3, of course, so Brandon once again just leading us from Formula SB, seems to have kept quite close to him under that VSC, racing up to very much with them as well. Shigeru Amatu is dropping back a couple of seconds. Alex K on the mediums, not quite managing to light them up just yet, but looking good nonetheless in P5. Jappi now in P6, coming under pressure from Adidas as they come through the S's, both on the soft tyres. Jappi's a little bit wide, maybe just picked up a bit of the grass. He's got Adidas alongside him now as they go into Degner 1. That's surely going to end in tears. Adidas has to back out of it. As we've got another yellow flag down in Sector 1, not sure what that was for. Maybe Mohamed Guna may have dropped back a little bit. He's down P10 now. We thought it was a little bit higher than that a moment ago, so it could have been a little off-track moment for him. And we're going to see a move. Benny Mack still behind F7, who's on those mediums. So these two on the softs will want making that move as soon as possible, and we're going to stick with Benny Mack for now because he's looking pretty racy in that AlphaTauri on home soil, of course, the Honda team, the second Honda team. And if he's not going to get the move done soon, he's going to have the Mercedes of Wolseley through very, very soon indeed. Decent slipstream now as Formula SB sets the fastest lap. Decent slipstream from Benny Mack. Can he get anywhere into the chicane? Tries a little bit of a dummy, but unfortunately nowhere to go when he got to the apex. Benny Mack now, look how close he is to F7. He's gone very defensive. I thought we had a car in the pits there, but apparently not. And it's a little bit naughty from the McLaren now as they come into turn 1 and there's contact, and Wolseley just about manages to avoid that one, but F7 is without a front wing, I think there. Completely lost the front wing, and Benny Mack continues on. Got away with that one, and Wolseley now is facing the wrong way. What were we saying in qualifying about going on to drivers and having them as not sure what happened there. Yeah, unfortunately we seem to be a bit of a spin magnet on the stream this evening. And back to the front, actually. Formula SB has got up and away at the front. Banter Brandon is now relegated to second place and racing up to maybe through in a minute as well. So the soft tyre is working well at the front at the moment, but Banter Brandon is not going down without a fight. 4 laps in, his medium should be nicely up to temperature, but can't get anywhere alongside Formula SB into the chicane. He will get DRS down the pit straight, and can he do anything with that? Although he loses a little bit on traction. And he's got a good run actually here, and maybe go to the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Didn't quite make it through cleanly. There was a small movement from Formula SB, but yeah, nothing too aggressive. And would have thought Brandon could still make the move. there without the contact. But either way, Benny Mack now is away and gone. He's clear of Mohamed Guna as we get some yellow flags at the final chicane. Comment on the stream, yeah, been noted. Mohamed Guna, yeah, unfortunately now relegated back to P11. Wolsey recovering, but sideways again, looking very loose in that Mercedes. Might be time to get a set of hards on and yeah, just put a harder compound on and try and give it a bit more support and yeah, bring the temperatures down a little bit, because at the moment on the softs you normally get a bit more oversteer on the softer compounds. It certainly looks a bit of a handful for him at the moment. Could maybe take a turn of the front wing out as well, maybe play about with the diff. I'm sure there's a couple of things you can do in the car to rectify that, but definitely needs some work at the moment. Look at the race we've got at the front. How have we missed this? Brandon, leading Formula SB, racing up to, is there just behind him, and the second Alpine of Sigur Amatu is closed in as well. Alex Kay not too far behind in the Alpha. We're soon going to have a five-way battle for the lead with two medium-shod cars bookending the three the three soft runners, sorry, and we've got Brandon into the pits from the lead despite being on the mediums. So what's his plan here? So Formula SB goes through into the lead. We've got the two Alpines second and third, Alex Kay now fourth. Are we going to see a front wing change? We are. Seem to be doing okay. He was still leading the race, but he goes into the hard tyre. Would have thought he'd tried and take it a bit longer even with the damage, while it was still seeming to be fine in terms of performance. You would have thought he could stretch it out and get to a more scheduled stop, but either way he's been in, put those hard tyres on, and we're on lap 6. He should go a long way on those. But Red Bull now lead from Alpine, Alfa Romeo and McLaren as Adidas starts to make his way through the order. And yeah, Booty unfortunately not happy with his race, but either way, let's just check in. Adidas, yeah, is making good progress. He's currently P3 in the championship, although 31 points off Luke, so he's going to have to get some big scores in if he wants to take any more than that this season. At the moment, though, Luke P7, Wolsey all the way down in P11. So yeah, at the moment we've got the sort of lowest, or the lower drivers, because we've got Alex Kay as well, P5 in the championship, he's P4 in the race, so it's complete reverse in terms of championship standings. So the top 5 in the standings will all close up nicely, well, the top 4 at least after this race, with Booty out unfortunately. But Alex Kay at the moment just in a little bit of a lonely 4th place, but now as a result of Brandon pitting, he's the lead medium tired runner. There were a lot of comments in the build-up that drivers not liking the challenge of driving the Suzuka circuit, as we see a move there and a move straight back again between Adidas and Jappi. So I couldn't quite decide who wanted to be P5 for a moment there. Yeah, plenty of comments in the run-up to the race. Drivers not enjoying the Suzuka circuit, but either way, Alex Kay is going pretty strongly at the moment. We'll go back to the front because we've got a quite a race on as it stands. Looking very good for Alpine, actually. Where are they in the championship at the moment? Not entirely sure on that one. Where are we? They are currently 9th, actually. So, but they could take a big march in that sort of battle for P5 with the likes of AlphaTauri. We've got Banter Brandon, who's unfortunately on those hard tyres, facing the wrong way at the hairpin. Does he have damage? F7's left the session. Not entirely sure what's going on there. But yeah, Brandon, yeah, unfortunately for him, now has no front wing whatsoever, so it's gone from bad to worse for him. Back to the front. We're going to have a move here, are we? Not quite close enough this time. We'll just get the telemetry on, as we've got we've got a virtual safety car. That's why we're slowing down. So under the VSC, let's just take stock. We've got Formula SB leading from, and wow, we're back to green flag racing straight away this time. Jappi, where's he in the standings? Haas P3, they can consolidate that. Probably won't make too much of an impact on the top two, but P3 definitely in their hands at the moment, even with Booty retiring from the race early on. We've got lap 8 of 27, so we're getting through them quite quickly. Yeah, we'll just have a quick look for Jappy. Where is he in all of this? He's currently P10. He's gone up that position since Imola, or as a result of Imola. He's just behind the Mighty Frax, Ridders, Miranda, and Frenzy, so he could actually find himself leapfrogging up the order towards the end of this season, and at the moment he's wanting to put a bit of a move on Adidas ahead of him. Brandon's been back in and put a set of mediums on, so yeah, it'll be touch and go whether he can get those to the end. I imagine he's probably going to have a late stop to probably put a set of softs on or something. Back to the front, what have we got? Still no change, it's still Formula SB in the Red Bull, leading Racing up to in the Alpine. Luke's starting to come back through the field. He's P7. Benny Mack, as we've lost F7 down at the second Degner, and a full safety car. Full safety car for him. And that is going to change things, actually. Sorry for the delay there. But at the moment, we're going to see probably the soft-tyre runners in, so that probably... it depends if he wants to carry on and take track position. But Alex K probably wipes out the advantage of him running longer on those mediums. We'll see very shortly who decides to come into the pits. So the top three all come in. Is Siguramato going back out? No, sorry, he's not quite into his box yet. So Alex K does take track position. He stayed out there on the mediums, hoping that they will go a little bit longer still. But most of the other runners are in. Mighty Frax in as well, off his mediums. So this may be a case where everyone but Alex has pitted. Wolvesy's pitted not so long ago himself. The question is, does he pit again? He does not. So, Alex K is going to lead a lap. across the line into lap 11 of 27 then. A long way still to go, but at the moment, as we say, Alex Kay's took track position. And the rest of the field all back down to Wolsey have all put brand new tyres on. Wolsey, as we said, just pitted a lap before the safety car. Brandon now has had a couple of stops. He's 2 laps older. So the safety car will buy Alex some time in terms of his tyre wear. We're approaching sort of, well, not really at half distance yet, but we will be knocking on the door of it after the safety car period. The other guys managed 9 laps or so on the softs. Can you consider maybe pushing these mediums long enough to put the softs on to go to the end? That might be a little bit of an advantage. We've had a couple of VSC periods as well, so the medium shouldn't be in too bad a state. We'll just take a look at the position changes then. Alex Kay up 4 as we imagined. Formula SB up 1, racing up to down 1. Sigur Amato up 2, Adidas and Jappi both big winners, as is Benny Mac and the Mighty Frax. Big loser at the moment is Brandon, and of course Booty down 10 as well. We've got the safety car in this lap, so that's pretty swift. And we're going to get back to some green flag racing. So lap 12, and we're going to be back underway with this Japanese Grand Prix. And when's Alex going to pull the trigger? He's gone already, but Formula SB going with him, and that's going to be tight when they come across the line, isn't it? Just about stays ahead for now, but the Red Bull does have a run. Is he going to be able to make a move into turn 1? He's going to have a look, but not quite. And there's an Alpine going a little bit wide there, racing up to, does he get it back on? I think he does just about stay ahead of his teammate with that one. And Alex Kay leads us through the S's for the first time, albeit under massive pressure from the cars behind, using even a little bit of overtake through there, and probably use it up now through Dunlop. As we've got some yellow flags, we've got Mohamed Guna facing the wrong way. No damage, should be able to get back on track and recover from that one. We've got, oh, what a move that must have been. We just missed it as we cut away. But Alex Kay down to P2. That was through Degner 1, so Formula SB must have got quite a run, and now has clear track ahead of him, and a bit of a buffer in the form of the Alfa Romeo between him and his closest challengers as well. Alex Kay now needs to try and stay ahead of these as long as possible, and as we've said, try and stretch these mediums as far as they'll go. Maybe put the soft tyre on that safety car. Didn't come at the ideal time, but I think he can still make something out of it. Who knows, we might see another safety car period before the end of the race. Even a VSC at the right time would do him no harm at all. But he's under pressure now from racing up to, will go on board. Does he go defensive? Doesn't want to go too defensive. You compromise yourself down the start-finish straight. Did pretty well there. Positioned the car nicely. And now onto the start-finish straight. As you see, yeah, he got pretty decent traction, decent line through there in the end. And should get away with that. No DRS at this stage until we've completed 2 full laps after the safety car. So he maintains that P2 at the moment. I think the move from Formula SB was sort of teed up, wasn't it, out of the chicane on the restart. Got very close to the back of the Alfa. Not the best of restarts. I think we've seen Alex Kay leading restarts away before, but unfortunately that one didn't quite work out. As we got Wolsey and Luke side by side through the S's, and Luke's come off second best there, and Brandon and Benny Mac have managed to squeeze their way through as well. Wolsey now back up into P7. Worked out perfectly for him, really, didn't it? The safety car bunched all the pack up. He just pitted, so no harm to his track position whatsoever. And down to the hairpin he comes. The next man is Jappi up ahead as Brandon makes a move on Benny Mac for P8. should get that one done. They're going to run a little bit side by side, are they? As Benny Mac tries to fight back down into Spoon. And you have to be a long way alongside if you're going to make that one stick. Might have just put himself offline as well. Luke could possibly have a look. But Mighty Frax isn't too far behind either on his hard tyres. In fact, Benny Mac's also running the hards, isn't he? So a couple of the white wall tyres are out there as Mighty Frax makes a move. At the moment, he's running ahead. They're going to go side by side into 130R. Luke once again run out of track. Unfortunate for him, as once again here we've got a bit of a queue forming. As Formula SB sets the fastest lap of the race at 32.0. Yeah, that queue is forming behind Alex K at the moment, racing up to Sigaramatu, Adidas, and Jappy not quite joining the party just yet, as Luke and Mike Frax still continue to battle down the start-finish straight. The Alpha's got that back for now. So the sole remaining McLaren of Adidas. It's Fretty on comms. It's me. Racing up to is making a bit of an impression on the Alpha ahead of him. Can he make the move that we've seen a couple of times already down into the hairpin? He'll have to pull a bit of a surprise. Oh, it's going to get a bit tight. Just not quite close enough. Alex K had that one covered. You can sort of roll through that kink just before the hairpin and keep a tight line. Doesn't compromise yourself too much. You sort of V off the hairpin rather than sort of a long swooping line through it, and it blocks both sides really, and it's easy enough to defend through there, and you don't, as I say, cost yourself too much time overall on the lap. And but now what's he doing? He's managing his energy pretty well, as Alex. Although the Alpine's got a decent run at him this time. Where's he going to position the car once again? Goes defensive fairly early on, nice and late on the brakes, gets it turned in. Once again, pretty perfect positioning of the car. Lap 15 of 27, so if you can get a couple more laps out of it, he'll definitely be able to put the softs on to the end. And sorry, we just missed a bit of the action. Sigaramatu may have been off the track. It looks a little bit dusty, doesn't it, around the front wing. Brandon's going to be making a move on him now as well. Doesn't seem to be any damage, but you just can't get the pace back up in the Alpine. And now Wolvesy's going to have a look, maybe around the outside of Dunlop into Degner. Got the tyres dirty on the Alpine and just couldn't get back with it, could he? Missed the incident itself. Racing up to has got through on Alex K. Maybe there was some contact, not sure. Looked away just at that moment, unfortunately. But, either way, yeah, the Alpha drops another position. A VSC or a safety car period now would work out pretty well for him. Could put those soft tyres on and go to the end, I'm sure, at this stage, especially when they haven't done qualifying and on low fuel, things like that. Moves the back up to P7. Not turning out to be too bad an evening for him. He's ahead of his nearest championship rival, Luke. And the likes of Adidas and Alex K aren't a particularly huge threat to him in the championship for overall honours anyway. Brandon recovering nicely from the incident earlier on. Fastest lap of the race, 31.6. Is looking very good for him as we've got change of position. Oh, and Alex gets all crossed up into turn one. A little bit of contact, needs to recover that one, and he shouldn't lose too much. He's lost out to the Haas, but in terms of time and damage, not as bad as it could have been. What on earth is going on down the back? We've got Benny Mac, Mighty Frax, Mohammed Guna, and Sigam Ramatu, who's into the pits. He's got a fresh set of the mediums on, and we lost Benny front wing as well in the S's. Back to the action then. What's happening up the front? We've got Jappy and Adidas still running pretty close together. Brandon now really starting to make good progress, so I think he was our pole sitter, wasn't he? He was indeed. And now, having had that front wing change early on, The safety car certainly saved his race, but Jappy, can he make a move on Adidas? Sticking to the outside line. He's going to go all the way around the outside into the chicane. Just about manages to get it stopped. Adidas should get a run back at him. But who got the DRS out of all that? It was Adidas. So Jappy may be a little vulnerable. Brandon's coming through as well. Might as well do the pair of them. Down into turn 1, all the way around the outside. Can he make it stick? Oh, right on the limit of the curb through turn 1 there. What a move from Banter Brandon. Back into P3 and still very much in with a chance of winning this race. He's what off the leader at the moment, 7.3 seconds. He's putting on a charge and he's not too far away with 10 or 11 laps remaining. We've still got to see a pit stop from Alex Kay. Who else is likely to be in again? Probably not anyone, I don't imagine. So yeah, it's not looking great for the Alpha man. Needs to try and wait it out, as we've mentioned, for some form of the safety car. As Brandon now motoring on his way. What's the gap? We'll watch that as it comes down. It's 3 seconds between himself and racing up to. Adidas trying to get back through on Jappy. Might be able to repay the favour, as we've lost Sigaramatu. He's just been into the pits and he's dropped it, and we've got a full safety car. And wow, that's exactly what Alex wanted. And are we going to see everyone in the pits for a set of the softs? Or a set of the, if they've got a set of new mediums, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Formula SB continues on. Racing up to continues on. Brandon pits. So he's going all out. Jappy continues. Adidas continues. Alex Kay obviously pits. Wolsey, I think, will... Yeah, he pits, yeah. Luke pits as well. So, yeah, if you're down the back, they're feeling adventurous. Less to lose, of course. The top 4 continue. And what are we going to see? So Alex has got to put the... Yeah, has to put the softs on. Has to run a different type of compound. And Luke is being held for some reason. Did he have a penalty? No, he had his teammate ahead of him, so he's going to lose out to... or has he? No, he's not lost out to Wolsey. Why was Wolsey held so long? Did he have damage? That's a little bit strange. Either way, we've got Mohamed Guna and Benny Mack both gone for the mediums. In fact, Benny Mack's not actually made it back. He's pitted before the safety car. The rest of them are all on softs. And the top 4 that stayed out, all on slightly used mediums. So Brandon now in the pound seats. Alex Kay thought he'd ruined his race not so long ago. He's looking at a podium now. And Luke and Wolsey, top 2 in the title race, might find themselves with some extra positions towards the end, although there is a penalty or 2 out there. Got Mohamed Guna and Wolsey both on 3 seconds. So lap 18 could actually work out very well for Alfa Romeo, and they are top of the table in the constructors at the moment, both ahead of the Mercedes, so it's looking like it could be a very good evening for the Alfa Romeo team. Wonder how long we're going to see the safety car out there this time. It's picked the leaders up now, so they've not got a chance of a sort of second lap pit stop just to cover off anyone who's pitted behind. They've now very much joined the back of the queue. And wait a minute, Adidas has pitted. And that's because he's just hit the back of Jappy. And I guess, is there a front wing change coming? He's put the softs on. So if he did come in wanting a front wing, he's not changed it. Jappy has received a 5-second penalty. I would imagine, unless there's any sort of heavy braking from him, that if he doesn't pit between now and the end of the race and serve that penalty, then it almost certainly can be removed from his race time. So Adidas now joins the list of drivers on brand new softs. And we'll probably be getting underway this time. Benny Mack's been back into the pits and put a set of softs on as well. So his new mediums weren't quite good enough for him. And he's put a new set of the softs on. And they're going to be right up to temperature because he has to close down the pack through Sector 1. But when he's done that, I think we will be able to get back underway with racing on what will be lap 20. So there'll be 8 laps remaining if we get away this time. And the top 3 may be under a little bit of pressure. Brandon, you have to say, is probably looking the favourite at the moment, with the pace he was demonstrating before the safety car period, as well as the fact that he put it on pole. Oh, wait a minute, what's happened there? Racing Upta has retired from the race under the safety car. Adidas picks up another penalty, and hopefully Benny Mack can avoid that. The car is removed, so it's all gone wrong for Alpine. They were running 2nd and 3rd earlier on. Now running... oh, wait a minute, what's happened there? Has Jappi just dropped it under the safety car? What is going on this evening? Contact with Formula SB. I'm not entirely sure why we can't run at a consistent, safe pace behind the safety car and keep space for the car in front. I'm not entirely sure, as we've got Jappi going off the circuit again. Yeah, don't get why we can't run safely without running into the back of each other. It's not that difficult a task. Either way, we're going to get back up with racing as Formula SB leads us into the start-finish straight. So out of all those that were on the mediums, we've not actually got that many of them left as Jappi pits. So there's only the Red Bull left out front on his own, rocking the mediums, and he's got Banter Brandon now, who can't believe his luck, all of a sudden back in 2nd place. And then we've got the 2 Alphas in 3rd and 4th. We've got yellows. What's that for? Mighty Frax, maybe? Maybe having a bit of an incident there. Either way, what can Formula SB do here to stunt the progress of Banter Brandon? The answer is not a lot. The back end comes out through Dunlop, and that's, they might as well just stood aside and wave Brandon through. He's back into the lead with brand new softs to the end of the race. He is looking very good indeed. Alex Kay, how can he go about getting ahead of the Red Bull? And can he keep his teammate and Wolsey championship leader behind him? We may be getting comment from Racing Upta now, so maybe confirmation of what took him out of the race under that safety car period. But Wolsey on the back of the 2 Alphas, he is representing the Mercedes Constructors title push at the moment. The Mighty Frax not making too much progress from P9. We're hearing may have been contact between Jappi and Racing Upta. We saw some front wing damage on the Haas, as we've got maybe a move coming here from Wolsey. Up the inside into the final chicane. He's compromised the line now of Luke, and maybe get a run at him. Look at that, he's going to go all the way around the outside. Oh, small contact, somehow gets away with it as they go down to turn 1. And yeah, wow, that was lucky. We almost had the 2 championship rivals coming together. Excuse me, just dying here. Oh, Wolsey made a bit of a mistake there as Adidas now comes through into P5. So yeah, championship leader drops down another position. Probably not going to see any team orders at Alfa Romeo because they are both fighting for their own positions in the driver's standings. Still very much all to play for with P3. So Alex will want all the points he can get, especially with the likes of Booty not scoring this evening. Formula SB is not actually doing too bad a job. He's still sort of within DRS range of Brandon. So the 10-lap old mediums, they've done quite a few laps under the safety car, haven't they? I think we've had 2 safety car periods with those tyres on. So they've not done 10 green flag racing laps, but at the moment, sticking with him and not letting him have an easy ride to the checkered flag at all. Adidas seems to have been behind an Alfa Romeo for most of this race. Can he make a move? Bit of a dummy. It doesn't get too confident on the brakes. Luke very late once again and just about hanging on. We've got DRS this time as Adidas tries to come around the outside of the final corner. We didn't see that come off very well for Wolsey last time around, but yeah, very low on energy actually as Mohamed Guna picks up a couple of penalties by the looks of things. Yeah, Adidas running low on battery, which may harm his pursuit of the 2 Alfa Romeos. At the moment, Brandon is maybe just starting to stretch his legs again. We've lost Luke. And Benny, as a result of that, may have made contact with him. No, it's two separate incidents. Surely we're going to see another safety car. Two separate incidents. We've lost Luke and Benny. At the moment, yet full safety car. Full safety car is called. And yeah, Benny showing his frustration once again. I think that's the same sequence of corners that we lost him in qualifying. But wow, now what do you do? Just Formula SB pit and put the reverse on everyone, and then take some new softs himself. Does he stay out? Those mediums, as we've said, haven't done too much racing laps. We got the first half of the race underway pretty nicely, pretty cleanly. Unfortunately, since then we've been a bit stop-start. Yeah, caught the curb. Unfortunately, on the inside of the S's. Does anyone pit? Is the question. I think the only person likely to pit, unless they've got some damage, would probably be Formula SB. Where would he come out? He'd come out behind Mohammed Gunnar. He does pit, and wait, Alex pits as well. Why is he pitting? Alex, what are you doing? What's he going to put on? It's a new set of the softs that wouldn't have had any issues going to the end. They've run some safety car laps. There's no repair of damage. Everyone else is pitted behind him, actually. So he's got away with it. Formula SB still hasn't pitted. Yeah, I'm surprised to see so many people pitting. Luke, yeah, I can't believe this. That's another disappointed driver in the comments. I also can't believe that Alex has still come out in P3 with some new tyres on. Everyone behind him pitted apart from Jappy, I think, who goes up now into P6. So we've got only 8 runners remaining. The second half of this race has really eaten away at the leaderboard, and it's approaching the halfway point now. One more DNF and we'd have a 50% retirement rate. Yeah, Luke really disappointed. Apparently crashed twice in a row now, which has really stunted his championship push. And Wolseley now up there in P5 with the chance of maybe even P4 or maybe even a podium before the end of this race. You would like to, you certainly look at Formula SB and think he's under pressure, but he kept it pretty well on the previous restart. Yeah, some talk of the title for Wolseley. It's not quite there yet. And what would it be if he was... So he's 39 points ahead before this race. He's going to pick up... Well, if you pick up 5th, then that would be 20 points. So still very much all to play for. 40 something for a win. I should remember that. Yeah, 40 for a win. And then, of course, pole and fastest lap points. As Formula SB, once again, needs to be a little bit careful with that. As Adidas pits for what I feel like is the 10th time today. So we'll just check in with that one. On the stops, Adidas is in for his 4th stop. Marty Frax and Mohammed Gunnar have both been in 3 times. In fact, Banter Brandon as well has been in 3 times, still finds his way up the front, as does Wolseley. Wolseley still has that penalty hanging over him, of course. But, everyone now who's finishing at the moment is in upper position. Yeah, Luke's still hanging on in the comments to some hope of the title. The championship, the point system definitely gives an indication of a wider gap than it is, but yeah, not ideal by any means. And certainly makes the fight for P3 hot up a little more. Alex K is looking at taking some good points. Adidas now down to P8. So, and Booty out of the race, so looking pretty good for Alex, and still pretty good for Alpha. and I wonder if we're going to see the safety car in this time. Lap 24, so we'd go into lap 25, so we'd see once again a sprint finish, as we've had a couple of times in the last races, and 1 lap of DRS if we get underway this time. Although you wouldn't actually get the DRS, would you? Because it'd be activated on lap 27, and you'd come round on lap 27 and not be able to use it because you'd finished the race. So there is no more DRS for the rest of this race. It's back old school. We'll make the overtakes without the use of the overtaking aid. And hopefully we can all stay out of the back of each other this time on the restart. And Brandon can get us underway for 3 racing laps of Suzuka to close out this Japanese Grand Prix. And across the line he comes. Seems to have got a pretty decent restart. Formula SB is probably going to be under pressure, although I can't see anyone behind him. Alex K again not making the best of the restarts. And have we've still got some yellow flags. Don't know whether that's just a bit of a delay. But, there is no issue. We've got very much as we get green flags finally. As wait a minute, we've lost Jappy. So we've got a Haas car going around, but with no driver as it stands, so he may drop a little bit further back, and unfortunately we might be down to 7 runners. But back to the front, Brandon with that buffer of Formula SB on the used mediums might just be doing enough to confirm what I think would be his second race victory of the season. Adidas goes up ahead of the Mighty Frax as, wait a minute, it's not over just yet, down at the hairpin, and should just about get that move made as Mohammed Guna trying to get around the ailing Haas. And should get a decent run at him now down the back straight. Goes to the outside. Just about squeezes through before 130R and gets the move done. Adidas, I think, will probably get another one done as well there. Down the inside into the chicane. As Brandon once again confirms fastest lap of the race is going his way. As it stands, a 30.6. And no reply from the Red Bull of Formula SB on those mediums, although he's doing a very good job of still picking up some very good points. As Alex K making no real impression. He is doing something, doing as much as he can for his teammate to hold back Wolvesy's charge and keeping him off the podium. We've got a Red Bull round, and that's a little bit cheeky. He'll almost certainly be seeing a penalty for that. And will Formula SB using the reset to track, and Wolvesy now. That puts Alex K up into second place. Wolvesy onto the podium. As we've said though, Alex doing everything he can for his teammate to keep Wolvesy away from more points. And at the moment, that 3-second penalty isn't going to be doing anything for him, is he? He's 4.6 clear. As we've lost Mohammed Guna, that Aston's been through the wars this evening. And wait a minute, may have been some contact with Adidas as well, was there? They've ended up racing each other down towards Spoon, and that's all getting a little bit hairy. And Adidas now should have the move done with the full complement of elements in his front wing. Mighty Frax now looking pretty safe in P2. As we start the final lap, who's going to get this P2 on the road? Is it going to be Alex K? Is it going to be Wolvesy? They're both pretty even on battery. And who's going to get down to turn 1 quickest? DRS is enabled, but we're not going to see it this time. And into the final lap we go. Are we going to see a bit of a 2005 Japanese Grand Prix move? Can the Mercedes get around the outside? No, there's contact! Oh, both of them round! Wolvesy round! Has to get back on safely. If he can do so, a little bit risky. His teammate's catching. Should... Mighty Frax maybe will let him go, but unfortunately now he's going to lose more because of the 3 seconds. So Alex has got away with it for the time being, but we've got... Oh, no, don't tell me we've got Wolvesy round again. Temperatures absolutely skyrocketing. No doubt in those soft tyres. It's all gone wrong. Chance for Luke yet, because this final lap, the move did not pay off for him, and he's dropped all the way in now. Yeah, look, the soft tyres, you got a feel for him. Those rear tyres are absolutely done. Spinning them up again probably won't do them too much Good. Back to the front though. Got Banter Brandon. He's already down at Spoon, and he's 6.2 clear. Since the first safety car, I want to say, he's not had too much to do. It recovered his race for him, having had a front wing change early on, and he's showing some very good pace. Made some good moves when he needed to. Not the least around the outside of one of the corners. I can't remember which. It was good at the time. We'll have to watch back. But Banter Brandon comes across the line and it takes another front wing. So I think that's the third one he's broken this evening. Still takes the win. Alex K just hangs on in the end from Formula SB, who made some good ground on that last lap. Mighty Frax is going to take P4. Adidas P5. Mohamed Guna with the damage will come across the line. P6 just about across the grass. Giappi, I don't think exists anymore. Wolsey taking that position back as he comes across the line, or into the final chicane at least. Just the final two corners to navigate, and he will come across in P7. He will temporarily go back behind Giappi, but I don't think the Haas will be included in the standings. We'll have to look into that one, but either way, we have an on-track race order that we will confirm to you very shortly. Brandon steps out onto the podium and picks up the trophy for first place. Yeah, confirmation there of your order in C3 this evening, and fastest lap and pole position as well for Banter Brandon. He takes the full complement of 42 points home with him. Alex K, Formula SB, complete your podium. Mighty Frax, Adidas, Mohamed Guna and Wolsey were your on-track finishers. Giappi, some question marks about, and then Luke, Benny Mac racing up to Sigurd Amatu, F7 at Booty were your DNFs. Thank you very much for joining us. Straight off this evening, and join us again tomorrow for C1. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you. And